Hi, good morning, happy Saturday. It is going to be a really nasty day weather-wise, but I am heading into town. Basically, my husband hangs with the kiddo, usually on Saturday mornings if he's not working. Sometimes he's working on the weekends, and he was out of town last weekend, so I desperately need a break. So I am heading into town, going to try to make some returns and hunker down to try to pin down the last bit of this novel and have pretty much the draft done by the end of this coming week, which feels like a tall order, but also feels very doable if I can get very precise on what I'm doing, because it is my hope, and if I'm saying this on the internet, maybe I can get it done. It is my hope that this book will be ready for release by like early to mid-summer. I have a good bit of it done. I think I have the story totally pinned down. I just need to go through, because I wrote this book back in 2018. I'm sorry if you're like super wobbly. Not really sure. Ooh, sorry. I'm not really sure how to fix that. So if you're getting motion sick, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about that. But anyway, I wrote the book back in 2018. Well, not the whole book. It was not a complete novel, but I wrote 50,000 words, which by all standards is typically a completed novel. So I am going back through, adding what needs to be added, taking out bits that I no longer like. And this book is told basically there's two stories happening linearly. So I'm just trying to make sure that that the whole story is complete and that there's no gaping holes, which I'll take care of in the editing process anyway. My sister is very skilled and talented at story editing and grammatically editing. So if anybody has ever been wondering about all of that, luckily, when I was publishing, maybe the first time, my instinct was just to like throw it out into the world, whatever, book done, good. And I had a friend that basically recommended, she's like, please, at least have your book copy edited. And she's like, I've read so many books by so many bloggers, she's like, that the story was good, but I was so distracted by just careless errors or typos, which are inevitable. Those are going to happen. Those are going to be in pretty much every book you ever read, because even now, looking back at maybe there are bits that I'm like, oh my gosh, how did we miss that? Because we combed through that novel so many times. I can't even explain to you the number of hours my sister and I spent in that manuscript trying to perfect it. And we got to a point where we're like, we can't look at this anymore because we're not going to see anything else, because we were so immersed in it. And I even did that thing that they recommend. I don't know if any of you are writing majors, but in creative writing classes, they recommend that you edit your book backwards so you're not distracted by the story, because your brain will automatically like fill in the space of what you know this sentence is going to say. So then you're not able to see what the error is. So they recommend that you read it backwards. And I even did that. My sister did that. So obviously there's going to be quite a revision process ahead of me with this second book. But if I can get the first draft at least done by the end of this week, it's a very realistic possibility that the book could be ready for summer, which is my goal. And I'm very excited. Super nervous, because of course there's that fear that, obviously I'm so grateful that people loved the first book, but what if the second book doesn't measure up, and it was just a fluke that I wrote a book and people liked it, and then I'll never write anything people like ever again. That's very scary to think about. But anyway, I'm gonna run into our mail room because we don't have a mailbox at our house, which is super annoying, but it is the cost of living in a very small rural town. I'm gonna run in to grab a package that I literally just have to then return once I have it in hand. But, so yeah, we're gonna go into town and I'll catch back up with you in a hot minute. Okay, I am just leaving Walmart. We have family photos tomorrow, and I've been obsessed with these L'Oreal Paris, I think they're like the shiny, brilliant lip something. They go on like a gloss and they're super hydrating, but then they leave a stain on your lips as well, and they stay all day. So I wanted to get a new color of that, and I'm trying the color Fiery, Be Fiery. I have Be Outstanding and what is this one? Be Independent. And both I absolutely love. So we're gonna try this and see. I love the texture of these. I don't know that I have anything to wipe this off with. Okay. I'm just gonna wipe her off. So, I like the color though. The color is exactly what I wanted. It does look like it's about to get really, really ugly outside, and I am of two minds whether I go hole up at Barnes & Noble. You know what? I'm gonna do that. And then just pray that the weather isn't too bad by the time I'm ready to go home. And if it is, well, I have friends in the area and my mother lives in the area, so I could always just go there if I need to. Okay, I promise this isn't gonna just be a car vlog, but you know what? If it is, that's okay too. I am just leaving Barnes & Noble and it's pouring. And of course I didn't have an umbrella, which is totally fine. But now I'm wet and cold. And I really need to go to Kohl's and make a return. And I feel like I would feel better if I would just get that done. Although I could do that tomorrow. I don't know. I'm just like, it's one of those things that I just don't know what to do. Anyway, I am going to attempt to talk through some book stuff at the moment. Oh my goodness, I'm never gonna get out of this parking spot. Okay, so having just spent the last little while at Barnes & Noble, the finish the draft by the end of the week goal is a little steep. It's a little steep because there's quite a bit that I need to go back in and rework, change, add in, etc. So we're looking at probably more of a 3 weeks until the draft is done, only because I want to make sure to add in the buffer of the fact that I keep my toddler home with me full time, and it's not always going to be realistic for me to get super focused time, which I know that I kept my son home while working before, but, and I don't know if you're a writer, maybe you understand this, but for those that aren't a writer, for me anyway, to write, I have to almost just pretend like the rest of the world doesn't exist, and so it's such a deep focus that it's really hard for me to do with my son around. It's definitely not advisable. So really, I have to rely heavily on, where am I going? Home. On those hours that I have in the morning as just sacred focus time, and let that be enough, because I don't think it's realistic for me to think that I'm gonna get any writing done during the day. If I get it done during nap time, awesome, but then I also have to reserve nap time for this and TikTok and everything else. So, and like freelance work, which I can do while my son is awake, whereas this type of writing I cannot. So yeah, I think I might have been a little lofty with the end of the week goal, which is okay. I am not quite done mapping out all of the to-dos for it, but I wanted to go ahead and get home because I think the weather is only going to get worse from here. And so I need to stop at the grocery store and then head home and just kind of hunker down maybe in my office for the rest of the day. So we have family photos tomorrow also. And so I would really, really like to find some time to paint my nails, which those of you who know me in real life know the best way to tell if life has been chaotic is to just go look at my fingernails. And if they're bare, it used to be that if my nails were bare, somebody would ask me like if I'm okay. And I don't remember the last time I had nail polish on. So, but I think that's just also the transition into parenthood, where it's adorable that I think I'm gonna get any free time to myself, which is okay. Doesn't last forever. Doesn't last forever. But I would like to do my nails today so that they're nicely done for tomorrow. And our photo time tomorrow, which is super ambitious, and this just kind of piggybacks off of the pediatrician debacle from earlier this week, is I scheduled all of our photo shoots for this year back at, I think it was in like November, maybe December. So I have photo shoots for our little family, I think 4 times this year, and have already got like the times, dates, scheduled, everything. And it's cute. It's cute that I just didn't at all consider the fact that my son would be growing up and his schedule would be changing, because our photo shoot tomorrow, we have to be in front of the camera at 8:50 tomorrow morning. The photos, thankfully, are not an hour away like they used to be. They're only 20-ish minutes away. But when I scheduled these, my son was consistently waking up around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Now he consistently wakes up between like 8:30 and 9. So he's not going to be very happy that we're waking him up and shoving him in front of a camera tomorrow morning. Neither will my husband, who that's pretty much the only day he has to sleep in. Oh, well, you know, you live, you learn. Another thing that I would like to research. So I'm getting a lot of questions about how I self-published the book and what that process looks like. And while I'm happy to divulge into all of that, it's important to remember that I published the book 9 years ago. And so, for instance, some of the platforms that I use don't even exist anymore. So when I published the paperback, I didn't publish the paperback right away. I only initially published as an ebook in 2014. I didn't publish the paperback until 2018. And I used CreateSpace, which was an extension of Amazon KDP at the time, KDP's Kindle Direct Publishing. From what I understand, I don't think CreateSpace exists anymore. I think there's still something like CreateSpace out there, but I haven't looked at any of it because it's been so long since I've published anything. So I will go ahead and make sure that I research all of that, and I'll probably do just a standalone video going through all of the publishing. I found publishing through Amazon and CreateSpace super freaking easy, and it didn't cost me a dime. And as you all know, at this point we have sold over 6,600 copies of the book. And I feel, for right now, I feel like that's working for me. I'm not really sure if I don't know. Like people have asked if I'd be interested in moving forward with a traditional publisher, and I honestly don't know. I think I just need to do my research and see kind of what all of the avenues look like, because I've never really properly researched all of it because I didn't ever think this was in the cards for me. And so now it may very well be in the cards, which is awesome, but I feel like I need to be a little bit better informed of what process and pathway I take moving forward. And obviously, and this is some like great life advice for you, you can always change your mind. You can always change your mind. So we'll see what I find out, and we'll make decisions with that information. But obviously, as I'm researching, I'll keep you guys updated if that's information you want to know. Okay, back home now. Honestly, I just ended up coming back home because the weather was really looking like it was gonna get bad, and I've mentioned before, we live kind of far away from town, and it's a lot of back roads that can be very sketchy, and they flood a lot. So I just wanted to avoid that at all costs. Now, I know for most people, when they get home, it's the bra. When they get home, first thing, it's the bra. But since having a kid, don't really care about the bra. It's the pants. The moment I get home, I want to change my pants. So we are back in sweats. It is still absolutely just pouring outside. And I am gonna work for a little while longer while I have my husband home to try to make some headway on really strategically planning everything out for this coming week. So when I do have pockets of time, that I am very intentional about how I'm using them so that I can really, we are on just project finish the book. We are very much on project finish the book. And obviously my season of life looks very different than it did when I wrote this draft. It also looks very different than it did when I worked on Yeah Maybe. I'm gonna try to make some headway on all of this. Yeah. A dog? He's a all my stuff is in here, Mom.
I'm coming out of here with Molly. She got all the cool stuff in here.
I have all the stuff that you have proven to not be trusted with. Oh dear. This seems like a bad idea. Oh! Do you want to know why all of those have been taken away? Because he was hitting the television with the guitar.
How rock and roll.
I mean, right? Oh, Roomba. But Roomba's dead. Roomba is big time dead. Oh. Maybe he's not dead. For what it's worth, Wade is half dressed. He wouldn't let us put his shirt on this morning. So he has pants on, but not, hey, Wade.
I have a shirt on.
I know, but it's still your pajama shirt. So you don't match.
Dad's wearing pajamas.
I'm back in pajamas, sort of. I'm half in pajamas. We're all half in pajamas.
Wade has at least half clothes on, so he's therefore the most dressed.
No, he and I are not the same dress level. What are you doing? You even have a stance. You see his stance? Whoa. Oh, you just hit yourself in the head. I know I mentioned before that, ow, my back is hurting. I really don't know why, but my lower back is absolutely killing me. I've mentioned before that I'm using Scrivener and that I was liking it so far, but you know, hadn't really given a lot of information about it. One thing that I will say that I really appreciate about it is I mentioned that I don't really have it set up properly. There's about 100 different ways that you could set Scrivener up, so I guess it doesn't really matter as long as the way that you set it up is working for you. And for this manuscript, I have like my manuscript set up into chapters and then broken down into scenes. And I appreciate that right now, especially because as I'm going through and trying to add into my project management software, I use Asana, like all of the things that need to happen to finish this book as far as reworking or rewriting or writing goes. I'm able to very easily see like all of those tasks kind of broken down in Scrivener, so I'm not having to read and reread the manuscript to remind myself of every chapter, every scene, etc. So that's been really helpful. But now that I'm breaking everything down, we're looking at probably several weeks. Not really, maybe 2 weeks. Maybe by the end of next week we can have this done. At least the first draft. It will at least be a draft completed, and then we can go from there. It's like a million hours later. The day just turned into a day, if you know what I mean. So I'm sorry if this vlog is very boring, but I really ended up spending a lot of time working, and there's only so much footage of me on a computer that I can share. My dog is a deck licker. Anyway, I'm doing cereal for dinner because I have pretty much lost the will to live. That's dramatic. My back hurts. It's 8 o'clock or just about. The kid just went down. And honestly, I'm really only eating this so that it's appropriate for me to eat a bowl of ice cream. That postpartum regrowth is looking really cute. This is the ice cream influencer content you guys have all been dying to see. The Turkey Hill double dunker ice cream is so freaking good. Okay, it's mocha ice cream with cookie dough swirled with crumbles of chocolate sandwich cookies. It is so freaking good. And now you understand why I basically ate a bowl of cereal to give myself license to just go ahead and have the ice cream, because I'm gonna have myself a giant bowl of this. And that's gonna be just fine with me. Okay, something you guys may not know about me is in a past life, I used to be aggressively obsessed with nail polish, but the season of life that I'm in now just does not allow for that type of commitment to nail polish. However, I do still like to do it. I've found that going with a gel manicure is really just what works best for me right now, because it cures instantly once you put it under the UV lamp. So I do use gel. However, I don't like to commit to the time it's going to take to remove gel manicure. And I have this stuff, which is really a lifesaver. You just buff off the top layer of the manicure and then you paint this on like it's just like a regular, like, it looks like a regular nail polish applicator. And it basically creates, like it bubbles the polish up and it just like wipes right off, which is great. But it does require some time. It doesn't take very long at all, but it does take some time where like you're out of commission. And the last thing I want is to be out of commission and have my toddler son come running up to me or anything like that. And now I have this like chemical all over my hands. So lately, what I've been doing is using a peelable base coat, which I realize is potentially controversial because the point of a gel manicure is for it to last. And I will say that I've gotten a regular wear time out of a peel base coat manicure. I don't love for my nail polish to be on more than a week anyway, only because I can't stand for my nails to get long or longer, and my nails grow very fast because I don't like the click clacking on my keyboard. So I was gonna change my nail polish after a week anyway, but I have gone 2 weeks with a peelable base coat on a manicure. I will say that some polishes, like some gel brands, do better than others. It also depends on how thick your layers are, how close to your cuticles you get it, all of that kind of stuff. But I have found that a peelable base coat is just what works for me right now. For tonight's manicure, I'm gonna just do, it's like this very, it's like one of those cat eye ones that you use the little magnet for, but it's just like a very pretty, like shimmery pink color, but it basically comes out like a crystal color once you've done the magnet on it. And I felt like that was really nice and subtle for tomorrow's photo shoot, which sounds, it's a 5-minute like mini session. So like, I don't know who I think I am calling it a photo shoot. Is it sad that I'm too tired to do my toenails and that there's a better chance that I'll get them done in the morning than staying up to do them now when we have to be in front of the camera by 8:50 and the photo shoot is 20 minutes away? I don't know what that says about my sleep habits. Oh my gosh. My hair is so due for a wash, but obviously I'm gonna wash it in the morning, but it'll has a life of its own. Oh dear. We're just gonna go to bed. We're just gonna go to bed. Okay, this is the outfit for pictures. I got this just from Walmart. I don't know if you can see my shoes. Those are from Amazon, but they will kill your feet. My dog is going to wake up everybody in the neighborhood. It is 7:43. We have to leave here at like 8 o'clock and my kid is still asleep. So I gotta go ahead and make him some breakfast that we can take in the car and then we'll go. This lip is the L'Oreal Brilliant Shine something called Be Fiery, and I love it. It goes on like a gloss. It's super moisturizing, but then it also leaves a stain, so it stays on all day. And it's honestly like it is my favorite lip product. It is actually my favorite lip product. Okay, let's get moving. Okay, well, there's been a change in plans. Wade, Jonathan and I are both all ready to go for our photos. And the last thing we needed to do was wake Wade up, but he woke up on his own, so we were like, oh good, this is perfect. He woke up with a fever, and it is very clear that he does not feel well. So we are not gonna go to our photos. Instead, we're going to have a bit of a sick day at home. So he's cuddled up on the couch right now with Dad, watching Bluey, and I'm gonna make us all some breakfast. He's usually really good about taking Tylenol, but he definitely did not want it this morning. So I injected it into a pouch and he took it that way. So shout out to TikTok for that tip because that came in clutch. So I'm gonna end the vlog here. Sorry that this one was kind of all over the place, but that's real life for you. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Is that what people say? Thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon.